When we do regular detoxing, that can help eliminate the buildup of so many of these toxins. We're breathing in, we're eating in our food. Even if you can go as low toxin, as clean as possible, it's in the environment nowadays. Regular detoxing is really key, I think, to maintaining a healthy and vibrant life.
When people are wanting to do this, what would you say, or how would you encourage somebody to help them get over those roadblocks and those mental challenges that exist?
Where our energy flows, where our focus goes, right, is the old saying as well. So what we focus on, we're bringing energy to that. And so in the way of manifestation, that's what's creating and shaping our reality of what we continue to focus on. It's like the glass, is it half empty or half full? What are we focusing on?
Hello, Project Ultimate Lifers. Welcome back. Today we have Melissa Renner with us, who is one of my very good friends. She and I taught together in Doha, Qatar. She is currently, where are you, Melissa?
In Australia right now.
She gets around. I'm in the US. We've traveled to Lebanon, I don't know, other places together, I'm sure. And she is just one of those human beings that, without understanding who she truly is and her complete amazingness that she brings to people's lives, she has transitioned from a primary school teacher into being an amazing holistic healing coach. And she is here with us today to be able to tell us a little bit about her journey, transitioning from being an educator now into a more nomadic style of living, having her business online, and being able to have that fun, freedom, and flexibility that we all desire. So she's here to share both the challenges, the hardships, and some of the most amazing things she's learned, and of course, how she helps people and how she can also possibly help you. So, Melissa, welcome. Thank you for coming and being here with me today. We are literally on the opposite side of time zones, and yet we were able to make it happen, which says so much. So anything is possible. That being
Yeah.
said, tell us a little bit about yourself. I kind of introduced your background, but how did we get to be here in this time, space, and reality? Who is Melissa Dawn?
Well, thank you. It's so nice to be here with you, Jess. This has been amazing to come together and just, yeah, have a conversation and a chat. As you've already introduced that about myself, I went from being a early years teacher and working in international schools for the past, it's been around 19 years since I started teaching. And then I was about 10 years based in international schools. So that part of my life seems like a dream now, because as I was coming from that space, I was on the side developing more skills, like my passions, interests, everything like that. And that's kind of come in and taken me on this different path. So now it's been about a year and a half since I've left teaching and have started traveling down this path. So that's what brings me here now, as I just went all in on making, like, living my ultimate life, as that's what you're about too. So yeah, I just said yes to myself and my dreams and my vision and my other passion. Yes, I had a passion of working with young children. They're still dear to my heart. I do love that, but it's also nice to be out of a 9 to 5, a job, like just incredibly empowering to be doing my own stuff now, like being my own boss, just having this opportunity to create the life I want to live. And yeah, and here we are. So it's like, where do I begin? But did that basically answer what you asked?
You said that you had been doing that for about a year and a half, but I actually want to take us a little bit further back because when I first met Melissa, I think we were on a bus shuttle into school or something, and she mentioned she did Reiki. I had worked in Germany also. I was also an international school teacher. I was in Germany, Malaysia, and then Doha, Qatar, where Melissa and I met. And when I heard this, a guy had said that he did Reiki in Germany, and I went, "Oh, I got to try that one day." And then she said this on the bus one day, but my mental imagery of what Reiki was like somebody on a table or like in a cave, and people would like, I don't know, put their arms over you. Like I can't really quite, my mental image was like Reiki is this like totally out there, like caveman style healing practice, if I would have even known to use the word healing at the time, as I like flash into like, what is Reiki? Boom, people in caves. Like that's where I went with it. And so she said she did this, and I was like, I really want to try that. People in caves, or I don't know, experience, because from what I gathered, it was this helpful healing thing. So I set up with Melissa an appointment to go over to her house to do some healing because I needed to heal. I was going through a lot. And I wanted to try something because what I was doing wasn't working. I did work out, I did eat well. Like I kind of had a lot of the foundations, not all by any means. I still had unhealthy habits that I, would juggle and struggle with, but like for the most part, a lot of the other foundations were in place. And now I was ready for like, okay, now what? You know? I would say at different points in my life, I did connect in. I would say I always felt like a vacuum cleaner, like connecting to the sky, and it was just like kind of zoom around, like one of those little like, uh, what are the one vacuums called? The spiders that go around or something, you know?
Little robot
The
vacuum
robots
thing.
that hover around and suck things up. Yeah, like that's how I feel. Like where adventure is just coming and flowing and all the things. But I didn't understand it in the way that you taught me. So my experience with you is I start doing these Reiki sessions, and my mind is blown. I'm like, what is this? I left those sessions higher than what I think any human can naturally be high, feeling just totally full. Like I had just had my world rocked. Like you had a massage, 2 hour massage, kind of like liberating type feeling. And I was like, I want to do that again. And what I realized in later in time of having tried Reiki with somebody else, you were quite special and unique in what you did because you did a combination of Reiki and sound bowl healing. Okay. Where did you come, first of all, into even your understanding of energy, vibration, Reiki, sound bowl? Like, where did that all come? Because I learned that through you. And how did you get there? And what connects you so deeply to that work?
Okay, great question. So this is actually an area that, I've been deeply interested in and passionate about it, like right from an early age where I first came across these books. I was like a teenager, and on the first book I remember reading, like spiritual kind of a book, was the Celestine Prophecies, which my mum happened to have around the house. I think she was borrowing it from someone at the time, and I picked it up, started reading it, and couldn't put it down. And yeah, that was the beginning. And then as I started to grow up more and I went to visit my dear great aunt who, she's been a huge model in my life. She had a bookcase full of all these amazing spiritual personal development books, just like, yeah, you name it, she had it. So I used to love going to stay with her because then I'd just take books. It was like a little library. I'll be like, oh, Auntie, I've got this book now. Okay, next time I come, I'll bring it back and take another one, and or two or three. And anyway, it just my love of self growth, development, and spirituality came from that time, I guess. And all the books, The Power of Now, Ask and It Is Given, Esther Hicks, Eckhart Tolle, like all the old classics, even Chicken Soup from the Soul I used to get into, and yeah, the Prophet, and just you name it, all kinds of books on leadership, on growth, on Napoleon Hill, yeah, just all those kinds of awesome things. So that's I guess where that spark was created, and I started to grow from there, and I just continued to get more into it. I joined a meditation club when I was a teenager as well. I went vegetarian. What else? Yeah, it's just yoga. I found yoga in my life at that time as well, which has been over 20 years now, but I've kind of dipped in and out of that throughout my life. But it's really in the last 5 years where that's come back into my life more strongly. And I've now like become a yoga teacher. I went to India. I've been about 5 times to India now. I just love it. But yeah, I went back to just go deeper into yoga practice and did my yoga teacher training. And yeah, so I've jumped so many years now right now. But yeah, I guess that passion started right from an early age, and learning about energy and manifestation and vibration, all these amazing things. And I guess that's what kind of got me on this journey of like, I would look at my family, my dear sisters, bless them, but they partnered off quite young in their teens and started having children quite early on as well. Um, and being with their partners, and I would look at them and be like, oh, this isn't really a life I want to live. Like, it seemed hard work. And yeah, just not my way. So I kind of was like, I don't want that. So what can I do? I want to go and travel. I had friends that went off to travel, we call it, over in New Zealand, an overseas adventure, your overseas experience, OE. So I had friends on their OE, and I was like, I want to do that. I'm seeing, postcards, and Facebook wasn't even around then until I first left. But yeah, they was writing letters. I had a friend who was an ex-boyfriend, but we were still friends, but he was sending me letters and postcards, and it just got me really inspired, like, oh, it sounds really amazing being overseas and traveling, and I want that. So I wanted to experience that. So all these little things just lined up to helping me create the life I want to live. And yeah, just like little steps and synchronicities that unfolded in my life, it got me into teaching one of these other synchronous things through a friend. Like, it's not something I ever thought I would want to do, but I love young children, so it seemed natural. But yeah, and then that got me into going overseas and having the opportunity to teach abroad and have the expat experience where I can live there, really integrate into the culture as school holidays to go and explore other countries. And so I got to live my passion of traveling. And I
know
through these series of things that have just led me on this path. And as a side hobby, I learned Reiki, and through Reiki, I learned other modalities and methods. So now I kind of call it like energy healing that I do now, because it's like anyone can be an energy healer, it's not just for those chosen few who have been Reiki certified. And, I really believe that anyone can access that potential. And like Reiki is one amazing modality and great way to get there, but there's just so much more. So yeah, that's also been on my path of
for people who aren't going to understand, or energy is kind of new to them, like, how would you describe energy healing, vibrations? How would you explain that to somebody like they're like a child?
Okay, so yeah, wow, like everything is energy, like thoughts are energy, feelings are energy, everything has an energy to it. So like if you think about walking into a room and say someone's really angry, or there's just been an argument there, or like there's a certain atmosphere, a certain energy that your spidey senses pick up on, and it's like, oh, that's because there's energy that's created through those words, through that feeling, through, so energy is just, it's huge in knowing like how to keep your energy at the highest it can be, like vibrationally. And one method I like to use is like creating my energy bubble and keeping that my energy is mine, and I don't want others' energies, because when we walk past people, interacting them in the day, we're actually taking on the energy too, because our energy fields, come out from our body, like our aura, our energy field. So we're all the time passing people, especially going into busy malls, supermarkets. So it's about like creating that, your personal energy field. And thank you. I just got a delicious smoothie brought to me by my mum. I'm staying with my mum at the moment in Australia, catching up, and we're doing a detox. So
cheers.
Breakfast. Cheers to that. That's a big bottle of water.
Let's have a sip.
Delicious.
Hmm. We both have health
So,
goals that we're trying to hit at
yeah.
this time. So mine's definitely hydration.
Okay, and mine is detoxing through amazing superfoods. And yeah, talking about energy, like, the energy that's contained in the food we're putting in our bodies. Um, is it dead, or is it like alive and vibrant, being the fruit, the vegetables, the whole food, or is it, things that are like dead energy, processed foods, sugars, that kind of thing. So, as within, so without, what are we putting in our body? It's like that's adding to our energy field, our vibration. Um, yeah. So,
That's interesting that you mentioned that. Since we're on this, I'm going to kind of go with that direction. Like, you know, I have known you, like we said, we were doing the international teaching. We both have very similar experiences, right? Traveled to many, many, many countries. But even then, I don't know if this was the case for you, but it was for me. Even then, I wanted more flexibility. So we would have those breaks, but they were specific times. And oftentimes there's events or things going on. I'd be like, oh, that's still not free enough. We're getting to explore outside of our home countries. Now we're in all these other places. And still we find ourselves doing, no matter where at in the world, doing what we love. So you're doing Reiki, you're teaching, you're getting to do that journey, but then you wanted more. And I think this is what happens is a lot of people get to that place where it's like, okay, we want more because I'm learning, I'm growing, and now I have more value that I want to share with the world. So recently you really took on this holistic, working with people from a very holistic way, but also incorporating more nutrition and other facets different than what I had once known. So when I worked with you, we were doing Reiki and sound healing and this type of stuff, and it sounds like your programs have expanded. So if someone were working with you, how do you incorporate energy healing, Reiki, yoga, nutrition, hydration, all the important elements into your programs? And what would someone expect to feel after?
mhm. Amazing question. Thank you. Yeah, because I feel like I've got so many things going on. Yeah, when I decided to leave teaching, I was like, how can I bring all these passions and certifications that I've built up together, and create, my life just helping, being of service, helping people, because that's strongly become my passion, seeing what a difference it can make to people's lives and journeys. You've been a great example of that, so that's what's inspired me to go. So what I've created is like, when I did my coaching certification, I thought, okay, this is a great way where I can encompass all these modalities and create a package where we can go through the energetics. Yes, we have, and a big part of it is nourishing, how we nourish our mind, body, and soul. There's the healing aspect, bringing that balance into our lives. So, through these pillars I have in my program, there's meditation, we've got breathwork. I'm also a breathwork instructor, and sound journey. Sound therapist, so I have Tibetan singing bowls and a gong and some other instruments as well. So it's bringing some yoga, some movement. I have like to develop people's morning rituals, because that's what sets you up for the day, right? When you have a solid morning routine and you do some like little rituals here and there. So bring some movement through the yoga, through the stretching, through the breath work. And what else? Yes, and now I've just, as I mentioned before with the detox, I've just brought that into my program too, where I've found this amazing company that I'm now an ambassador for. And that's been truly mind blowing that we have this amazing detox program, and the supplements that they provide are all whole food, natural, no nasties in it. Because I've also been passionate about our natural world, natural remedies. Don't go to the doctors, don't take pharmaceuticals. If I have a headache, anyway, that's also been a big part of my journey. So I wanted to bring that into my program as well. And so when I found this company and realized the supplements are completely whole food, micronutrient, chemical, pesticide free, like the ultimate, quality, I wanted to take them for myself to start with, and then realized how great they were and decided to jump in and become an ambassador as well. And now we do this detox program where we go in for 10 days, and that comes with the supplements that we provide and some plant-based protein, which is also amazing, whole foods and their superfoods, none of the nasty fillers and, you know, so that's been life-changing to have found this company. And yeah, we do a 10-day detox program with that. And so people that jump in that container, they have support, they have the program, amazing recipes, and so many people have found it life-changing themselves. Like, it's reduces their sugar craving, it's balancing hormones, it's giving them more energy, like it's reducing bloating, they're losing weight, their skin is clearer. There's just so many amazing benefits that they've experienced, and that's what keeps me going and so excited about it. My mum's been on the supplements for a couple months now, I think, maybe coming up 3 months. No, not even that, 2 months. And she's just said to me, I think my eyesight's getting better yesterday. She's like, do these things work, like help your eyesight? She's on the omegas. We have a beautiful plant-based omega supplement.
I'm on the omegas.
Yes, you also took some, and that's amazing because we take it from the algae that the fish eat. So we miss out the fish because the way they extract omegas and stuff is, it's not, it's a bit cruel, and the conditions the fish are in and all that. So we skip the fish part and we go straight to the algae and other oils and things in there that create like omega 3, 6, 9, 11, 7, so it's a good quality, all scientifically backed. I don't want to like go on and on about these supplements, but just to give you an idea, like, I'm so passionate about quality, and these have been so amazing. Anyway, so my mum was like, wow, I noticed I don't really need my glasses anymore. I can see more without my glasses. Like, she's like, is that right? And I'm like, yes, we've had thousands of testimonials, and yeah, some of those have been including improving eyesight. So
Wow.
yeah, so she's loving it, and I've got her on the detox since I've been here because she's like, oh no, I can't do a detox, no way. And so we're on day 3 now, and we've been having smoothies and soup for 3 days. And then for days 4 to 10, we have the 2 smoothies, and then a whole food meal. And it sounds quite hard to some people, but going through and doing it, like, I don't feel hungry. And as well, my clients, they love it. I had a friend that did it. I was just in Malaysia. We did one together there too. And she was like, as soon as it finished, okay, when's the next one? Like, she was ready to start again the next week. She loved it. And actually a good example of that was, she said to me the other day, she's also a school teacher at a school there, and she had a busy time with class plays, putting on a production. She's like, so we ordered like coffee and, chocolate and sugars, and we were like just trying to quick, easy stuff to keep going in that busy time. She's like, oh my gosh, could I feel it in my body after? She's like, I need the detox again, because it took away all her inflammation, and suddenly her ache started to come back, and her
Absolutely.
energy dipped, things like that. So she's starting the detox with mum and I, actually. So she's also on day 3 again. So she was keen to jump back in. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey. Like, adding this extra layer into what I do has just been like, yeah, life changing and incredible, and just helping people get those results. And they've tried many programs before, and this is the one that they've been able to lose those extra kilos and start feeling good again. And yeah, it's like a reset. And I definitely recommend detoxes, cleanses, every so often, because the world we live in now is just full of toxins. Like, it's really hard to avoid them now. So when we do regular detoxing, that can help eliminate the buildup of so many of these toxins. We're breathing in, we're eating in our food, it's on our clothes, it's on the products we're putting on our skin. So, it's, even if you can go as low toxin, as clean as possible, you still, it's in the environment nowadays. And so regular detoxing is is really key, I think, to maintaining a healthy and vibrant life.
Yeah, it's important. I think, it's the idea that it's health is wealth. You and I talk about this a lot. We both say it
Mm.
individually. I hear you say it. I think it all the time
It's my
because it
motto
really
for
is.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you're young, you're not realizing it. My mom once said to me, no, more than once. Okay. She often said to me, she's like, you're so hard on your body. This is going to really do its number on you one day. And I'm just like, nah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, I would dive in sports. I played all the sports. I still do this kind of extreme. I'm doing training right now for a bikini competition. And it's all weight training, and it feels, I mean, wow, that's its own thing too, just in terms of how much weight training alone has, in 3 months' time, weight training has changed my life. So it is one of those habits that I will do for the rest of forever because it makes my body feel so much better. Movement is lubricant for the body, right? And so when we talk about health, I mean, it's really at the basis the body, right? And it's at the basis the mind, because a healthy body is a healthy mind. And if we
Mm.
have a healthy mind, we're going to have a healthy soul and a healthy spirit that wants to give and wants to do things and contribute and be part of something bigger than themselves. So it all starts kind of at that beginning, but a lot of times there are fears and a lot of times behavior change happens, or this fear that comes at this idea that change is going to happen. What happens in the body? Human beings hate change. So they automatically, a part of them or who they were have to die to become the person that takes care of what they put into their body, thinks about or thinks twice before they're eating something. Where did that come from? What's in it? Is always thinking about how can I sneak in a walk? How can I sneak in a few squats here or there? Maybe that's more my platform than yours, but all of these kind of high performance more style. That's me. But it's
Yeah.
all for the same. It's still for performance, whether
Mm.
you're working, to perform at, it's all performance. It doesn't matter. Optimization, right? So
Yeah.
when you could have 1,000
Evolution.
goals, at any given time, you can have 1,000 goals, but if you're sick, you've got one to
Mm-hmm.
get healthier, right?
Exactly.
So when people are wanting to do this, like what would you say or how would you encourage somebody to go over the hump of like, oh, I think it would be a good idea if, how would you nurture them, support them, encourage them, coach them to kind of start to prepare their mindset, right? Because we are so much what we think about, we bring about. How would you get them ready or encourage them, or what advice would you get them to help them achieve their goals and get to where they want and get over those humps and those roadblocks and those mental challenges that exist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so important because, yeah, where our energy flows, where our focus goes, right? Is the old saying as well. I think maybe it's a Tony Robbins quote. I'm not sure, but um, yeah. So what we focus on, we're bringing energy to that, and so in the way of manifestation, it's like that's what's creating and shaping our reality of what we continue to focus on. It's like, the glass is it half empty or half full? Like, what are we focusing on? Are we seeing the possibilities and the opportunities of a half full glass, or are we focusing on like, oh, this glass is half empty? Like, you know, what
Mhm.
what are we focusing on? And so, definitely, mindset is a big one, and rewriting these stories and beliefs we've been um, the negative self talk that a lot of us have in our head that takes. I just did a meditation. I have a group container, a free Facebook group, but I did a meditation the other day on like rewriting over these stories, the negative self talk, like basically putting a cassette tape in the old, the stereos we used to have with the cassette tape, and then to record it, you'd have to push the play and the record button together. So I did like a little visualization on, okay, you're putting this cassette tape of all your old stories, patterns, like negative limiting beliefs, those things, conditioning, these societal and childhood conditionings, um, that you've got to ask, are they true? Are they actually true? Like, you know, if you want to create more positive change in your life, it's being the observer of like what's going on in here. Like, What do we focus on? What are our thoughts? And so it's like taking this cassette tape, putting it in the cassette, pushing the record, and like rewriting it. And just, I did like a little run through on, filling it with more positive affirmations. Affirmations are really big in helping to train our thoughts, our patterns, and up level. So it's like re-recording over those and replacing them with positive affirmations or mantras or statements where empowering self-belief. So yeah, that's really key in recognizing these patterns or behaviors or, whatever it is, and then flipping them. And healing is also really about acknowledging. It's not like a band-aid where we're covering over it. We want to go deep. We want to acknowledge what's there, bring out the shadows, bring out the wounds, and just like embracing them. They're a part of you. That's what's brought you to where you are. It's been part of your journey. So it's like, I use the Ho'oponopono a lot as well in that, which is the Hawaiian little prayer that they have for, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So I use that a lot for everything. And so it's like embracing every part of you. And yeah, the energetics, like energy healing is great for that, because it's like not only do what we carry around physically, it like goes deeper into our energy bodies. So it's like some of that needs clearing and healing as well before, like, but yeah,
No,
such a
it's
big.
very, I mean, it's a part of the bigger picture. It's a holistic, healing. So it involves all of this.
And physical injuries and things like that as well can also be from a stuck energy, a stuck, emotion, something like, it just needs help clearing. And yeah, so, and Reiki was amazing in that, where, people that came with some kind of injuries was able to, work through those and heal some of their conditions as well. So it's definitely an amazing, getting into the energy healing, the energetic side of things is also, as you mentioned before, you were doing the things, nutrition, like, um, that's the energetics that really can help amplify your life, like where you can thrive and just, yeah, continue to
Mm-hmm.
up level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Just gonna kind of go more along the lines of wrapping it up, unless there was anything you wanted to particularly add or mention.
Yeah, I think we've covered a few different aspects, but yeah.
Okay, so I have another question for you. Ready?
Okay.
So, what would you say to somebody that describes energy work as woo-woo? Because you
Woo
hear it
woo.
all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's actually like, it's scientifically proven that we all have energy centers in our body. Like, we have meridians, it's all energy. So they've actually proven that in science. Like, they can measure, the energy coming from the body in particular areas. Like, I won't get into chakras now, but yeah, so
Well, actually, what are the chakras? Can you tell
they're
us?
basically energy centers. Yeah, so
Can
energy
you
centers
tell
on our
us
body,
which
like
each
the
of them
main
are
ones.
and where they are?
Okay, sure. We can go down that track. So just briefly, we've got 7 on the body. We actually have like loads, but the main ones are the 7. So starting on the base of the spine is the root chakra. And then we go up into just where the navel, just under the belly button, that's the sacral chakra. And then we have the solar plexus, like, that solar plexus area. And then we have the heart chakra. And then we have the throat. And then third eye. And then the crown. So these are the physical ones on the body. And then they can also come off and around under our body. And that's just like a whole nother deeper layer. But to cover it briefly before we close up, yeah, that's the basic main energy centers. So when I talked before about maybe there's someone who's carrying pain in their shoulder, with that related to, okay, it could be like a heart-based thing, like what's going on there? Are you holding a grudge? Are you angry about someone or a situation or a wounding? And so when we can kind of uncover and clear that, it reflects in our body and in our life. Like, say, you have a blockage in your throat chakra and you're not speaking your truth, or you don't like public speaking or things like that often. And I've had to do this myself because I was just like not a big public speaker at all, very much so. So I've been doing and still need to do more work. Like, healing is an ongoing journey. We can't just suddenly all heal everything and be done with it. Like, as long as we're human, there's always going to be things to work on. And every day we go out in the world, we're, continuing to pick up things. So it's like, yeah, as I mentioned before, I do a little energetic method with clients that we create an energy bubble and things like that to keep our energy ours. And so I've veered off again, but yeah, basically it's a little example. And
Well, I think the idea was, what do you say to people who think energy healing is woo-woo? Was the question. What would be your response?
Yeah, so that's what I was going down. Yeah, it's been scientifically proven that we do have these energy centers and meridians, which are like energy lines that run through our body. So it's definitely not woo-woo. I mean, there's also experiments around testing flowers and plants, and you can see the frequency that they give off, that kind of thing. So it's not. I mean, yeah, it depends what woo-woo is. Yeah, I'm great with woo-woo. I'm like, yeah, the more woo, the better. But
Yeah, like let's talk about
yeah.
crystals, How can crystals help you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. One of my passions as well, crystals. So yeah, crystals just hold a special, unique energies. So yeah, they also can help in many different areas. This is also another huge topic you can get into, but choosing if there's a special crystal that's calling out to you or whatever, and how we can like cleanse it and activate it and just like use it to help us in whatever area we need them for. Like, yeah, crystals are record keepers. They just hold so much information and energy, and just, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But
Yeah.
I think these days it's becoming more and more recognized that this energetic world around us is it's here and it exists. Like, you can just hold your hand up against a white wall and you'll notice the energetic field around it, like, yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, Melissa, I have all different types of friends. And, they say that you're the average of the five people that you spend the most time with. And, I think about my closest friends and they all represent this leg, right? Like I've got the friends who's like absolutely no woo-woo, like absolutely not. And then I have you over here that's just like, you opened my mind. I started doing different practices, strategies. That's a whole nother thing we didn't really get into is some of the strategies that you go through, but let's save that for another conversation because I feel like we'll have many more for sure. Um,
Yeah.
but of all my friends, you definitely keep my mind open to some of these different strategies. And honestly, quite frankly, it's these strategies that have helped me the most. They say that when you've gotten yourself 90% there, you're halfway there. And I really feel like this, like energy work and paying attention to all the holistic part of life can help really get us from point A to point B so much faster. And it is that sound healing and the vibrations and recognizing where we're vibrating at, because thoughts are vibrations, right? On the emotional scale. So we vibrate as we think. And so when we start to become aware of all of this energy, woo-woo kind of stuff, you actually start to realize, or at least I have, like actually I'm in a lot of control over, I can make that little crystal go in
Pendulum.
really big circles and I can change the direction just by changing the frequency within my body. That the first time I did one of those crystals blew my mind until I was like, let's talk about this. how would this actually work if a crystal could turn itself? In fact, there's even one upstairs. I could literally show it be done. But
Mm.
but then I realized because I knew enough to know to be dangerous to recognize like, oh, this is energy. This is how this works. So if you ask a crystal question, a yes response within you evokes a yes response within the crystal, and then a oh, I'm not so sure about that, or an uncertain response within you vibrates similarly, and then it gets you that. So more or
Mm.
less, I would just say that that's one of the greatest things about you that I appreciate so much is that, I once was a client and I can speak so profoundly on the impact that your work can have in someone's lives because I have directly experienced that firsthand. And continue to go back to you when I need, Reiki sessions or healing sessions or cards turned just to see. I think I've even
More
paid
woo woo
come
things.
do cleanses, sage cleansing in my house one time. How much do you charge? You're like, I don't know. I was like, great, this is just a business. We'll figure it out. Like, but this is what I need done. And you
Yeah.
took it very serious. So you're a woman, a Jill of all trades, if that is a thing, a Jack of all trades, but a Melissa of all trades. So we will definitely be in communication. If there was one thing that you could tell your somebody who's maybe 17, 18, 19 years old at the beginning of their journey, or somebody who's really wanting to hop on this, spiritual healing journey, what would be one, two, or three pieces of advice that you would want to give them to leave them off?
Mm. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I would say be curious. Like, when we can get curious, then it opens up more pathways. And yeah, just get curious and read. And there's like, I would say there's just so much out there. So when we are curious and wanting to know like different methods and modalities, it's like, oh, where to go, what to choose. And it's just like feeling into your heart space, like what resonates with you, what do you feel more excited about? And, I like to follow my excitement and also listen to Bashar as one of my go-tos in what I listen to when I'm doing things and cleaning up or getting ready for bed, whatever, I always put on an audio, YouTube, a talk or something. I'm not a Netflix person. I'm a like um, Audible or YouTube seminars, workshops, whatever, I'm just so passionate about learning more and wanting to evolve and grow and how I can help others more. More I do in my own journey is enabling me to help others as well. And so it's, yeah, just seeing what excites you and what brings you joy. Because, when we can use these passions and it's like not work, it's fun. It's our purpose for being here, So when you can tap into these things that lights you up and being curious and then just building your knowledge and experience and just do the do, you know, practice it every day, incorporate it into your life, set yourself up. So yeah, there's just so many things, but basically I would start there, and it's a way of exploring what's out there and what resonates to you, because what resonates with me might not resonate with you or that person, or it can resonate with some people and not with others. Like we're all, it's that whole energies of our energy signature we carry. Like some people we're more drawn to working with, or than we are for others, and that's because we all carry our unique signatures, and that's okay. We're not for everyone, and that's why we have so many people in the world, because even if there's many of us doing similar things, we have the unique key within us that's going to help to unlock things within others. So yeah, just enjoy the journey and being open and curious, and building on your knowledge and experience. And yeah, read the books that excite you, like listen to the trainings, the things, all the things, the courses. Like a big key in my program is about, I've developed this my True You program now, and it's basically about how we can come back home to ourselves, like coming home. We don't need to look outside of ourselves too much for all the answers and the keys. Like once we know how to come back home and reconnect or connect, or, you know, it's like the answers are all within us if we can connect and realign.
Amazing. All right. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining. Um, I appreciate it so much. I know we'll talk and we'll have future collaborations, but in the meantime, enjoy Australia, enjoy your family, and thank you again. Air high
Yay.
five.
Woo. See you soon.